I am out at the farm and I needed to come out and try to give another go at getting the John Deere running because the grass is really starting to grow fast out here. We need to buy a brush hog and then we need to have something to pull it with. So I think we were pretty close last time. My dad is not able to come out and help me right now. I think he'll make it out this summer at some point, but I asked him if he minded if I went ahead and tried to get this thing running so that we could potentially use it to mow. Trying to stay ahead of the grass this year. Well, if we don't stay ahead of the grass, we'll be able to mow it anyways because we'll have a brush hog. And this thing, it does not have a 3-point, but it has a PTO and I don't know if you call that a drawbar. So I won't be able to lift the brush hog up, but we'll be able to pull it around. And that's really all we need to do. It's pretty flat what we're doing, so I don't think it'll be a big deal that I can't lift it up. I think the problem really is just I need to clean the points. So I'm gonna try to clean the points up and see if it starts. Actually look a little like not great. I think that's a little bit too much. So I'm actually going to back up flywheel a little bit. Oops, that's probably too much. Okay, so then I want to go, so that's tight. I checked and I do have spark here when I go to turn it over. So I'm going to put some gas in it and maybe, just maybe, it will start. Let's see how this goes. I am going to turn it around though because I don't like the idea of it starting. And I know it's in neutral, but it could slip into gear. I don't know how this thing works. So. Guys, I just don't know about these John Deeres. There's gas in the carburetor. This is the choke. I'm assuming that's choke. Huh. It's not even like coughing or anything. Good morning. Good morning. I'm still out at the farm. I got the John Deere to start and run momentarily. I'm not sure what I did to get it to run, but I had a hard time videoing anything because I was kind of out of my element because I've never worked on a John Deere before, or a tractor for that matter, until I worked on this with my dad last summer, and he showed me a lot of how this thing works, but I didn't have him here, and I just didn't know. A car engine, if I can get it started, I'm not intimidated by it because I know how to shut it back down, and I know that it's not in gear and all that kind of stuff. But this thing, it's got a lot of levers. I knew it was in neutral, but I've got brakes on both wheels to help it turn, I guess. I've got high and low. This shifts it into gear. I don't know what this does. This is the clutch, and I think that when you get on it and you want to go, push this forward and it goes. Put it into gear first, and then you do that. But this seems opposite to me because well, I guess that seems right, but I think this needs a new pad on it because I don't see how that's going to hold that. I don't know, that's the clutch anyways. So when I had it running, it shut itself off, and I think the way I got it running was adjusted this fuel selector. The way I understand it, you've got this little tank here and the big tank. This tank you use to start it, and then this tank you use to run it, because back in the day they were using different types of fuel. So you would start it with this little tank and then run it off the big tank. We had some problems with the sediment bowl, so we removed it. So we're just using the little tank. I just couldn't get the fuel to shut off. What I think happened, the carburetor filled up, and I think gas came all the way up to this level and was coming back down this pipe. Gas was coming through this pipe, and I was trying to get a videotape, but I was just under I was a little bit freaked out by it all. It looked like the gas was just actually coming through, and I would wipe it off and it would reappear, and I could not figure out where it was coming from because I couldn't figure out how gas was even getting in this pipe. So I thought, it's not connected from the tank. So now I'm worried that gas had got into the gearbox and down into here. We're gonna have to go through and make sure that didn't happen. But gas was leaking all out through the bowl, and we were struggling with this carburetor last year, and you can see it doesn't have the proper gaskets on it. So we need to rebuild, in my opinion, we need to rebuild this carburetor. But I did get spark, it did run, and I did a really bad job of videoing it. That is where I'm at with the John Deere. I came pretty close to trying to talk Molly into letting me buy another tractor. There was a Farmall H, which I really like to get an H because I think the M is too big for me. But I want to get an H, and it was running really good, but it also did not have a 3-point hitch, so it wouldn't have really helped me any. And the other thing I saw was a Ford Jubilee, which I kind of fell in love with just with the photos because it was lots of different colors, but it ran really good. It had a bucket on it and it had a brush hog on it. So it was $4,000. I think it was a 52 Jubilee, something like that. Almost had Molly talked into that. If I can get this thing running and we can find a brush hog for sale out here in Nebraska, that's going to be probably the best scenario, best case scenario. Let's see how this goes. Oh. Okay. It's cool little notes on here. Fixed needle. I don't know if that's his initials, and then it's got a number in there. These carburetors I can buy rebuilt. They're like $500. It's a something Shebler, but Shebler. Let's tear this thing apart. What else are we gonna do today? This is 1 1/8. Actually seems to be 1 1/8, which I happen to have right here. I need to get a vise out here. We had it on there really tight, so I'm probably not gonna be able. I was hoping I could just tighten this down and maybe make it stop leaking, but I'm gonna definitely need a new gasket. I'm tempted to go ahead and order that rebuild kit just to have it. With Old Yeller, I fought it and fought it and fought it. So this is the idle adjust screw. I just took it out. It goes down into this hole. So let me put that back in. So that's all the way tight, so that's not going to allow any gas up into the venturi. Then on the other side, kind of same deal. It goes down into the bottom of that hole here as you open it up. So that would be all 100% open. That allows gas to go through that hole into this main bore and then up into the venturi. Because when the bowl is on, you can't get gas into the bottom of that. So that's your idle and load adjustment. That's your throttle. This is your throttle limit spring. So you adjust your idle right there with this, and then your idle screw. And then this is your choke, full choke, wide open. And I think this is just for resistance. So this has a, I guess. Not sure what that's for. Got a couple things to figure out. So when I look at this, we don't have a gasket on here at all. I thought we put a gasket back on here, but it doesn't even, oh yes, it has a gasket. I don't know why it would leak out through there. I mean, it just leaked out like a sieve through here. So when this float comes up, it should stop flow of gas, but I think that's not happening. So the result of that was, I mean, this has a gasket on it. I don't know why it's leaking. So we need a new gasket for that for sure, which I could actually make out of cork. I could do that today. I can make a new gasket for this. It was leaking out of here as well. We tried to seal that up, but it obviously didn't work. But I'm going to open this up now. It's been completely rounded off, so the only way to get to it is with a vice grip, unfortunately. Not too bad. So there's this little screen here. What's left of the old gasket. A little bit of gasket on here. It looks all like gummed up and stuff in there. Let me see if I can get this guy out. So that float should come up and close off in here. It's a little gummed up though. So I'm going to clean it up. There's a screen here, so gas comes in here. It's got to go through that screen, and there's a hole above it, and then it goes back down in to where the needle is, and that comes up with the float. Oh man, that's hard to get out. I'm not going to get that out. So that was pretty dirty in there. You can see some of the stuff that came out of that. Ooh, that burns or cut. So I cleaned this out 100%. There's a lot of grit in here already. So all that burns. Carb cleaner in your open wounds is not great. Oh, so just wipe it with a carb cleaner soaked rag. That helps. I really need to try to get that out somehow. So that's clean. It's pretty clean in there, I guess. Oh wow, a lot of stuff just came out. I'm not gonna be able to get that out. Stripping it. Just trying to clean up this surface where this gasket goes on. Well, it is threaded too, so usually brass threads kind of seal themselves. I'm just kind of snugging stuff up now. I really want to get this, I'd really like to get this guy open. I don't feel like it totally shuts it off. I mean, it should completely stop flow. Or do I need to go the other? Am I going the wrong way if I bend it? Yeah, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? I think maybe I was thinking about this backwards, so I'm actually going to bend it down a little bit. And then, does that make sense at all? If I go down, so I'm just going to bend this a little bit. Just see if that helps. I'm sure there's a trick to this, but I don't know what it would be. If anyone knows the secret to getting this seat, this needle in here, I'll buy you a 6-pack. You kind of bend it when you put it in. I think that maybe that's the problem. See, now it's going to bend it. When I'm trying to force that in there, it's bending it back in the wrong direction. Don't you want to go in? I want to hear that tractor go poppity, poppity, poppity. Woo! This is fun. And I lost it. Okay. This is magnetic. Maybe I could do that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Meh, meh, meh. I'm playing Operation. I didn't get it. I'm not winning at this game. How would Charlie Sheen do it? And it goes to the side. Oh, that worked. Not at all. I know this is not the right way to do this. There's just no way. So I adjusted this so that it's a 1/2 inch between here and the top of the float. And then, oops, I thought I got it in there. And then I had to watch a video. It's a great channel that rebuilds tractors, and that's how she did it. And that's how I'm going to do it. And then so I need to bend it back down a little bit. That's perfect. Okay. So I should be able to do my little test. That feels like full close off, so that feels perfect. I'm going to take this gasket off and clean this surface, and then I'm going to make a new gasket. Okay. So it's going to go onto there. Should I make it a little bit thinner? That's probably okay, huh? I like it. Tighten that down in a minute. Those threads are really stripped out. It's unfortunate. So what I was told, it's very important to take these screws out. I'm going to do these one at a time because I'm going to forget what goes where. You're supposed to drill all these holes out with a very small, very long drill bit, which I do not have. It's seated. I'll back it off a little bit. Get lucky sometimes, according to Tom Petty. And I'm glad I have my glasses on. Okay. The rebuild I watched did not have this on it, so I'm still wondering what that is. So what? I need to cut a gasket for here, and I think she's ready to go back together. Let's see how close it is. We'll just see how this goes. You have to trim a little on the outside, a little on the inside. Okay, see if that works. Not sure what the point of that is. It'd suck if I did all this in that lead, but you know what? I'll take it off and I'll fix it. That's what I'm good at doing, is things at least 4 times. Let's go put her in and see if we did any good. After I put this bolt back in that I knew I was going to forget to do. All right. There you go, little bolt. That's where you want to be. Let's try this again. Don't forget to put that bolt in, guys. Before I put this all back together, I'm going to run some fuel through here and just try to figure out if this will shut off for me or not. That's good right there. So I'm just going to test this diverter valve. I've got it all the way to the right and there's nothing coming out, and then I'm going to go up a little to the left. So there's a little flow, a lot of flow, and then if I go all the way to the right, it'll shut it off. It's going to drain the line and it should dry up. If that doesn't make you have to pee, I don't know what does. Is pickle juice flammable? Where is it going to leak from? So what we're hoping for here is no leak here, no leak here, no leak here, no leak out of the screen inlet thing, no leak out of the bottom, no leak out of the bowl, the float bowl. We're hoping that the seat allows gas to stop and not fill through here, which I'm still kind of dumbfounded how that even could happen, but at this point, we're ready to try and give it a start. I guess the cool thing about this is you don't have to worry about the battery being dead, huh? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go full choke. We're gonna open the gas. And then we're gonna give it a couple cranks. Really turning over hard. And then we're going to go half choke. I don't know if there's anything as exciting as hearing your old Johnny Popper pop off. set up, just go. Ooh. I wish I knew how much gas was flowing. Decided to take this little guy apart because I felt like it was getting clogged up. So if you look at these holes, they're kind of situated so that when this is parallel with or perpendicular to the threads, you could say, I guess, however you want to say it, that's wide open, and then I think anything else is closed. So now I know. I unchoke it. Choke, a little bit less than full. Everything's just so touchy. I don't know if it's flooding itself, if it's getting too much gas. I never got it running consistently today. Yesterday I had it running to where it was running, but it was really warm. I think that helped. It hasn't warmed up. Maybe when the sun starts hitting it this afternoon, she'll start up and run. my dad was here, but this is pretty cool. The problem I'm having, it just likes to be 100% choke. Touchy. I'm gonna try to get it back in the Quonset before it dies and it doesn't start out here, but a lot of stuff moving around. This clutch I don't know about. Definitely need a new clutch pad. I don't want to really grind that metal down anymore, so we got to get a clutch pad on this thing, but boy, it's fun to climb up on this. A lot of potential for, you know, things to not go great. So I'm going to do the clutch, and then I'm going to go into first. I guess that's not something I can do with a GoPro in my hand. I'm gonna sure hope that this thing starts up again. Boy, it'd be something if it would just kick right back up, wouldn't it? Come on, baby. Come on. You know, I'm gonna go get some more gas for it. I think I got her flooded out now. I don't think she'll start. Yeah, I gotta shut the fuel off and let it kind of dry itself out. I'm gonna head to the store. When I get back, maybe it'll start up. But pretty stoked about the whole thing so far. I think I'm gonna stay out here again tonight, even though I was planning on leaving. So what that entails is me driving to the store, getting some groceries and some water, and I will see you guys in a little while when I get back, and maybe we'll do a little sunset cruise in the John Deere B. Gotta get my dad out this summer and let him drive it. That'll be the real video. So it's a windy morning here at the farm. I gave up on trying to make the tractor run last night because it gets to a point where it just starts spitting gas out of the petcocks for the cylinder decompression, and I feel like once you get to that point, you're not going to start, even though the spark plugs were dry still. I think you need atomized or whatever, vaporized gas. I don't think it's going to start with liquid gas pouring out of the cylinder. So I haven't been able to get it started whenever it does that, so I gave up on it. I thought I'd let it sit overnight. Seems like it starts better when it's been sitting in the sun and it's a windy day, so it's not very warm, but it has been sitting outside. Keep an eye on Nadia. She likes to sneak off. Where you going, girl? She also likes to go lay on the porch of the little house. So now that I'm distracted doing this, I think she knows, and she's going to try to sneak off to the neighbors because they like to give her deer bones. So probably drive it back into the Quonset and park it and get out of here. But if I feel really confident that the thing's running good, I might take it for a little spin around the yard. Let's see if we can get her started, and we'll go from there. Come on out to the farm. We're doing goat head CrossFit every Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll get you into shape. So come on down. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of How Not to Do Things with your host, Derek, at Goathead Farm. Plan is to grab some new spark plugs, do a little more learning, do a little more CrossFit so I can push it home if I have to, rebuild the carburetor, and I think worst case, if we get a new coil or a whole new magneto, I think she'll fire off and run like a champ. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoy this. I love doing this. I hope that it's for good entertainment and maybe some motivation to get a fully restored tractor running that's been sitting for 19 years that should have started right up, that doesn't start right up, and you got to do some tweaking to it. So fix this, fix this, fix these, fix this, fix that. And we'll be mowing, and then we'll be plowing, and then it'll be 3 years from now. So thank you guys.